Dance. Hello, everyone. Tracy Barrett, Focus on Nova. Linda Russis behind the Instagram.
Oh no, Tracy's
Super.
Instagram's not going live right now.
Okay, we'll be right back.
I will pop in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Life in Technical Difficulties. Not only are we having issues with Tracy's Instagram going live right now, but you'd be very we would be shamed by many in the media industry if you were to see the setup that we have going on behind these cameras.
It's amazing.
So
a mug and some pens is a perfect
Right.
replacement for a gimbal.
Right. So while Tracy gets her Instagram set up, did you know, I'm going to talk to Tracy because she's standing right here.
What?
August 1st is the 40-year anniversary of MTV.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But that makes me feel less old. I'm not that worried about it.
My question is, I don't watch MTV anymore.
So what's not on it now?
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you even know what they have on there? I know for a while it was just all the reality TV.
Right, which is what it was, which is one of my favorite memes. Like, you used to actually have videos and music and whatnot.
I know.
There we go. I think we're live now.
I know.
On the Insta.
On the Insta.
On the Insta.
So.
But yeah, I don't know what's on it anymore.
I don't know either. How long has it been since you and I have done a Friday Live together?
I'm not sure. Last week? No, you
been
were
a
gone
while.
last week. I was gone last week.
You were gone last week.
I was gone last
And I
week.
was gone.
So July was a blur. And
Seriously.
And kind of fun. I got this really cute sundress, which I'm digging.
I know,
I feel
it is really
everyone
cute.
see.
It is really cute.
It's super fun and long, and I've got little espadrille wedges on. I'm like so fashionable today.
I know.
This is me in high society. What can I say? So anyhow, but yeah, no, vacation was good, and you're coming up on a vacation again.
I am.
And that'll be good.
I am. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be the longest vacation that I have ever taken before.
Enjoy.
So
We got you, girl. That's
Yeah.
what we're all set up for.
So I just hope that I'm able to go because of all the new
COVID stuff.
masking and everything. So yeah.
Right, and that's one of those things that we're starting to see again with our listings too, as we're coming into places, just more masks and keeping it back on again. So
Right.
we will mask, we will respect that and
Right.
make sure people are not
Right.
getting sick. So
Right. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
masking up again in
Right.
Virginia and Maryland. Although, while not required, highly suggested for
Right.
even those who are vaccinated to mask up indoors, especially in those really dense areas. However, DC has like more legit masking policies. Also, speaking of all the COVID issues, DC sports this past week or so has seen a lot of issues. So 11 players on the Nats came down, tested positive for COVID.
are they not vaccinated or are they getting a variant?
So I know I was reading up a little bit more, and
Sorry, I'm just
so the football team, I think,
because
is
same
at
thing with
less
like
than
the Olympians. I mean, are
Right.
they're like, oh, they tested positive. Were they not vaccinated?
Well,
Are they
so
getting
here's
a
the thing:
variant?
you can still test positive if you've had the vaccine.
True.
It's just you're not going to react to it as harshly as if you were not vaccinated. Now, the NFL, Washington football team.
Football team.
I think I read less than 50% of the players are vaccinated, and actually the coach is pissed because he went through a cancer scare
Right.
a couple years ago, so he's
Right.
a little
like
bit
2 years ago, so he's
like-
immunocompromised.
right. So he's not super happy about it. But the NFL, which I mean, right, everybody is trying to decide how are we going to deal with this, and the NFL actually came out and said teams cannot reschedule games due to an outbreak of COVID of unvaccinated players. So they're saying if you can't play because your team has been decimated by COVID and they have to go into quarantine but they weren't vaccinated, sucks to be you, forfeit the game.
Forfeit the game. Okay.
So
All right. Well, needless to say, we know where I stand on that. So,
I know.
I mean, well, the federal government can't do it, and that is a separation of church and state. Private organizations can, and I'm just going to leave that right.
a lot of road closures in Arlington.
What's happening?
So
Begs the question.
yes, so it's actually it's very nice. It's very sentimental. So on Sunday, a gentleman named Frank Siller is going to start a 42-day walk from the Pentagon to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to the World Trade Center. It's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. He's doing it obviously in honor of those who perished on that day, but especially for firefighters because his brother was lost. He was a firefighter and was lost that day.
That's nice.
So he is. So they're having road closures so he can start that walk.
Okay.
So be aware of that when you go into Arlington on Sunday.
Done.
He's starting it at like 8 in the morning, so it's going to be super early.
It'll be early, so it won't take that long.
But
that's good.
Yeah. So I thought that was.
I'll be in Haymarket doing a final walkthrough for post-settlement occupancy for Rick, whoop whoop, who got a killer apartment out there. So
Very
I
nice.
hope that guy has a nice walk.
Yes, I will be getting ready to head to Arlington, but later in the day. Now that I just said that out loud, I'm going to go check what those road closures are again.
So there's that.
Because soon you will see we have an open house on Sunday in Arlington,
Stay
and I will be
tuned.
the one there. Some other news. So Fairfax County has proposed, and they're holding a public hearing on it about doing a 5-cent plastic bag tax for the county. Public hearing is scheduled for September 14th at 4:30. For those of you who would want to go voice your opinion on that.
I think that's interesting that they're going to set that up, and I'm glad that part of me is glad that they're doing it. I can remember, I'm really going to date myself. So when Shoppers Food Warehouse first went into Fair City Mall, like a gajillion years ago, I was little. I mean, I was under the age of 12. And they used to charge 5 cents for paper bags, and it was just like what they did. It was the bulk thing, and it was like horrific. You know, they didn't unpack their groceries; they just cut open a box and popped it on the shelf, and and it was savage. So I can remember my parents just being absolutely floored that they were going to be charged 3 cents a paper bag for bagging their groceries. Yeah. And it was really the first movement towards the recycling and all of that jazz, and bringing your own bag and reducing reviews. So I'm interested to see where that goes. That said, I'm also hoping that for folks that can't afford it, I mean, I have my freebie bags. I mean, I still use them. I mean, they're gross.
Everywhere.
You can get them everywhere, but does
Not
everybody get them everywhere?
No, they don't.
So will there be an incentive within the county to help families and households out that can't afford the reusable bags? Will there be an initiative? And that's kind of my thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Another, not anniversary, but sports related thing. I'm sure everyone saw Ovechkin signed for another 5 years.
Which I'm so thrilled. I'm so happy that Ovi is back. Went on a listing appointment this week, and their little dog's name, she was a little Shih Tzu. So cute and so friendly. And he was so cute. His name was Ovi. Yeah. I was like, you're very cute. Halfway through the listing, he's like on my lap. I'm like, anyways, buddy.
Right, exactly. Yep. And then, so this one, I'm really interested to see what exactly this means. I came across this late last night, so I didn't really dig that much because I really wanted to go to bed. National Landing is going to be the first 5G smart city in the U.S.
So what does that mean?
That's where
because I have 5G on my phone.
That's where I have to do a lot more research. So they're talking, so obviously the connectivity and just how you're going to be able to get on stuff, but they were talking about immersive retail and entertainment and building automation and environmental sustainability. So at first you're like, oh, that could be cool, and then it's like, oh, well, it's going to be tracking
Big Brother's watching me at all times.
But then it's also, but they already do that.
Right. I'm such a conspiracy theory. I'm like,
if you're on the internet, everybody knows what you do.
You know exactly. No, you're not fooling anybody.
But so I have to look into more as to what this means, because I was reading more into it, and they were throwing out all kinds of like high-tech jargon that I was like, I don't know what that means. So I have to do a little bit more research, which I was not willing to do at 11 o'clock last night.
Right.
So that's going to be really interesting to see how that whole area comes up. And speaking of that area, they did also just announce that the Potomac Yard Metro is being delayed.
Oh man,
for another year.
That stinks. Poor Metro. They just cannot get ahead of themselves.
No. Let's get some consistently working trains.
Yes, there's that. And then we can worry about expanding. All right,
Right.
so what's happening in this neck of the woods? This week on Focus on Nova, we have all kinds of good stuff. Lynn had this fantastic story, which I'll let you tell about.
Yeah, so we did a post about home updates that you can do for your office. I definitely tried to go mostly with local independent stores in the area, and I'm also very happy to say a lot of them were local women-owned businesses.
Boom.
So check that out. Always great to kind of refresh. I was telling Maura last week, it's really weird. Everyone, at the new year gets all like, oh, these are my ambitions. I don't really get that in the new year, but I do in the fall. Like once summer's over, I'm like, okay, now I need to like...
Right. Like I'm still wearing sweats in January.
So here's another thing.
And honestly, though, if you think about it too, so we with real estate, we run our business like a business. So I mean, we have 2020. We will have 2022 mapped out from a business plan and map perspective by November 15th. I mean, and so going into fall, we are in revamp mode anyways. So that's when we tend to do things professionally, which translates to our houses as well.
Right, exactly.
So
and you know what I think else it is the kids go back to school, so it's like now I can get everything.
Can I just tell you how much I'm looking forward to them going back to school? My children are so much happier when they are around other children, and the last, let's call it a spade, 18 months. I mean, oh my God, go to school. I mean, I love you, and it's been wonderful spending so much time with them. For the sake of their mental health, I cannot wait for them to go back to school.
Agreed. Speaking of, I forgot to mention this earlier.
So did I. I was going to say something. I don't know if it's the same thing, but go ahead.
We are very much on the same wavelength if we're talking about the same thing. Studies have shown, they've done research, and during the pandemic, showers are down 30%.
Gross! Ew! We are not on the same page! Ew!
I'm not saying my showers are. I'm saying
just in general, there's been water conservation.
I don't know actually, and I can't tell you if that's nationwide or global wide. But
judging by the grease in my 14-year-old's hair, I'm gonna go with that. Doesn't surprise me.
Right.
I was just gonna say that the boys started cross country this past week, and there was a shower afterwards.
They need to shower many times.
Oh my God! Not the same wavelength at all.
No.
All right, so this is one here. This is a great house. You guys may have remembered it when we went under contract earlier this summer. This is Huntsman Drive in Manassas. It was listed at $600,000, and we sold it with 2 offers on the table in June. And one weekend at $615,000. Really great house, but you can get a lot of house in Manassas. Mm-hmm. Very convenient to Old Town Manassas, which has shops and restaurants. We were just talking about this.
I know they've
really done a good job in Manassas City. So there's just a lot of things to do there, and you actually said this the other day when we were talking about, but you have to worry about the commute and everything. Mm-hmm. I am telling you that the people that buy this house, the last 5 or 6 homes that I've sold in the $600,000 to $700,000 range in the Manassas, greater Manassas area, have been within a 3-mile radius of the Manassas VRE, and almost without exception, they work downtown, and about 70% of them have been military. Because you can get a lot of house, some space, and you're not sacrificing a commute because you just go to the train station, hop on, and you're at work. It's phenomenal. So check this out. It's what you get for. We check it out at 5, 10, and 15%, assuming a 3.25 interest rate. Check it out. Great little series that we do.
Yep. Maura went ahead and put together a thing about water sports in Nova. And yes, we are very aware some of the great things to do are to go out and do tubing or whitewater rafting on the Shenandoah, but we looked actually more at what is here that you can do, and looking at like the Reston area, Lake Akateek, all that kind of stuff. One thing that everyone is always like, oh, Burke Lake. So here's my pet peeve with Burke Lake.
Talk to me.
Beautiful lake, super close to my house.
Way close.
You can't just kayak. If you're on some type of craft on the water, you're supposed to be fishing. You can't just go kayak. You can't just do stand-up paddleboarding.
It's reserved for fishing.
It's a fishing lake.
Yep. But that said, I mean, if you look at Catherine and Dorothy and Sarah,
they go down to
Fountainhead and put their paddle boards in. Did you see the picture that Dorothy took of Sarah?
Sarah, I know.
Oh my God, it's like straight out of a magazine. But anyways, some girlfriends of ours, they go paddleboarding all the time at Fountainhead. and just have a blast. But there's so much you can do. It costs nothing except for the rental of your equipment, or if you own it, just pop it in and go.
Right.
It's a really
and
lots of things to do that are hyper local and on the water.
And they're all over Northern Virginia. We made sure to kind of grab different areas. So wherever you are living, we tried to get one that's close to where you are.
Check it out, y'all. You're welcome. I'm like on a thing today.
It's the MTV thing.
It is. It was. That's exactly what it was. Okay. So next week on Focus on Nova, what are we doing? We're just gonna have to wait for the slide. So clearly the batteries.
We have next week. We have things to do.
There it is.
Laura is putting up our things to do for August. Technology sucks sometimes.
It really does. You guys should see this pencil holder that's holding my phone.
I know.
Anyways.
So she put together some of
this
the top things to do.
This is the August things to do. This isn't just this week. Yeah, so this is a big one. But go on to focusonnova.com, hot and fresh news, and bookmark that bad boy. This one is coming to an end. We closed it. It was so great. I mean, this lady has owned her house for 30 years. Ingrid used to cut her hair. For those of you who didn't know, Ingrid used to be a hairdresser for years. In the end, she ended up listing it for $790, got $800, and she and her husband are moving out and going to Florida. So check out what you can get in Fairfax City at $800,000. I'm going to break that down for you.
Yep. And then Sharon went ahead and put this one together for us. It's what happens if you miss a contingency deadline. Definitely something you
talk to your attorney
to do. Right. So
talk to your attorney and beg for forgiveness.
Right. So she breaks down first and foremost what those big contingencies are, and then if there is any scenario in which case you think you might be missing it, or any issues are coming up that are leading up to that deadline. She just walks you through some tips of what you should be doing and what your realtor should be educating you on in that scenario.
You should not be missing deadlines.
No.
All right. Upcoming Focus on Nova events. We've got some things coming up. I've got this super cute. Thank you, Garrett and Christina. 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Park Glen. We are holding 2 open houses this weekend. It's listed at $259,999. So $260. So check it out. It's a really great community. It's one of the original ones, and it's right across the street from 4 Mile Run and all of the trails there. So it's a great little unit close to everything.
Yep.
This one's cool.
Yep. Oh, so back to the other one. So the open houses are going to be Saturday and Sunday, noon to 2.
Noon to 2.
So Maura will be there on Saturday, and I will be there on Sunday.
So check it out. In the meantime, you secured this fabulous Masters Monday. Mark your calendars for Monday, 7 p.m.
Yes. So this coming Monday, Carl Craig is going to be joining us for our Masters Monday. We know Carl because he is a fantastic home inspector. But because I always tend to go off on tangents with people, in talking to him, I found out he used to be an FBI agent and in law enforcement, and he was one of the head people who were tracking down the DC snipers. So
such a scary time.
He is going to come on and he's going to talk to us about that time. And I already kind of got a little preview because of the conversation, and I ask a lot of questions. So it's really intriguing stuff. At the time, I was a journalist, and I remember clearly when this was happening, there was one shooting somewhere in the Loudon-ish area. Or no, it was the...
There was Falls Church at the Home Depot over by Bailey's Crossroads. There was another one in Fredericksburg that was right at the Massachusetts, Spotsylvania one.
And then the Ashland area.
Yep.
And so, but it was right at the time, I was a journalist, and everyone was looking for the white vans.
Yes.
And I remember it was a production night. I was leaving the office. It was 2:00 in the morning. Yes, that's when we wrapped up. So that's when I was leaving. And I desperately needed gas so I could get home at 2:00 in the morning.
We'd all bob and weave.
And so I pull into the gas station, the closest one to my office, and there's a white van parked there. And I was like, oh, no.
I'll run over gas.
I was like, I'm going to take my chances.
And there was no white van.
There was no white van, but so... just some of the stuff with like everything in life in hindsight that kind of played out. He talked a little bit about that, so he's going to go into
Yeah.
what some of those things
To,
were.
to do this, you can go to our events page and register there, or just hop on at 7 o'clock on Monday right here on Facebook, and you can take part of it. Highly recommend registering and hopping in, because what we'll do is we'll open it up for discussion, and you can actually participate and ask questions
Right.
while you're there. If you're on Facebook, it's a little bit of a delay, so it's a little hard for us to monitor comments. But
Right.
definitely register. Check out Masters Monday this coming Monday.
Things to do. I got a couple things.
Go
Did you
ahead.
have something else you
Oh,
wanted to
shoot.
say?
Darn it. Okay, well, we're going to have this first. Go ahead.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. I forgot. Go ahead.
Okay, things to do.
Things to do.
So, last weekend of July, craziness.
Unbelievable. Jesus.
Hold on one second. Pause. I'll keep going.
Keep going.
The Anthem is reopening this weekend over in the Wharf, and they are hosting Dave Chappelle tonight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, tickets were sold out in 3 hours, so you can't go tonight.
Oh, no.
However, on Sunday, Dave Chappelle is also going to be at the Kennedy Center,
Oh, that's cool.
so you can try and go to that one.
I'm glad he's out performing again. He is a funny dude.
He is a funny dude, and he had that horrific car accident, right? Wasn't that him?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about it because I don't know if
I
I
don't
would
know
have my
either.
facts correct.
Yeah.
So the other thing, which I love these, and I should never sing, but I do when you go to a Sound of Music sing-along.
Oh my god, if you have not done the sing along at Wolf
It's
Trap,
so fun.
it is so much fun.
So this one's not at Wolf Trap.
Oh.
But it is,
Where?
I believe it's at the Kennedy Center, the outdoor Kennedy Center area
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thing. But it is 6:30 on, oh my gosh, I'm horrible. I did this really late and I didn't write down the date. I believe it's tomorrow.
Did you do
I'm
the
not
one at Wolf
positive.
Trap before? Like, were you with us when we went with Jen Seifert that time?
I went one time with my sisters
so
at
let
the
me set the
Lyceum.
stage. We are in the pavilion at Wolf Trap because we're now old and sitting on the lawn is less attractive than whatever. And it's all adults. There's no kids with us or anything. And when they get there, they give you like the fabrics piece and like Edelweiss and all kinds of stuff. You have props so that you're supposed to like throw the, can I use these curtains like these? And I mean, it's all on anticipation. They get to the do re mi so etc. We're all in this line, and without talking, everybody is like do re mi so ba 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 da da da, and we're all singing our parts, going up and down and doing it. It was so much fun. I made Eric go, and he gets in the car later and goes, "Not again." I said, "Okay."
What? He doesn't love Sound of Music?
No, didn't participate.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So some other things that this is really cool. So every other Wednesday through September 22nd, they are having Wes Anderson Wednesdays at Westport. So you can go. It's free. But it's limited to 125 people, so you have to like register ahead of time.
Mhm.
But so just every other Wednesday now through September 22nd, they're going to be doing the different Wes Anderson movies.
Oh, that's
Like
nice.
Royal Tenenbaums, all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, just those fun kind of quirky, yeah.
movies, very quirky.
And it's a Wednesday.
Mhm.
You gotta look forward to something on Wednesday,
yeah.
right? And then lastly, on Saturday at Orokano Bay Park in Alexandria is a food fest.
Ooh,
So International Food Fest.
so check it out.
Yeah, and Saturday is supposed to be absolutely
Yeah, today
beautiful.
too. So that's
Yeah.
kind of exciting. So I remember what I was going to say earlier. So I was on the Google and I was the Google mapping, and I looked at 29 Lee Highway, and it was in Fairfax, over by Stringfellow, and on the Google it said Langston. And I was like, what is that all about? So it is not in Fairfax, not been adopted, but in Arlington. It has been adopted that through Arlington County, Lee Highway has now been renamed to Langston Boulevard. So if you see that, just note that you're not nuts, and they did indeed change the name of the street.
Right.
And that's
Correct.
it.
That's correct.
That's all we got.
All right. Well, go forth, enjoy the warm weather, the warm, non-humid weather
Yeah,
that's
no
going to
doubt.
be coming, and that's it.
Thanks. We'll talk to you later. I just read the message that our internet is restored.
I know.
God bless.